all of this util to try and flush out this operator that doesn't exist. And then they give it up. They give it up. They walk away from it. Just the threat of this operator makes them so scared. G'day team, welcome to another NA Challenges video. We are analyzing the Nation versus Silk Road on Bind. This was map 1, and this is Wardell and Stewie2K's team, and Wardell went pretty big in this game. What I want to look at specifically is the Wardell special, the op, and not any op, but the Raze op. And I want to show you guys, even without Jet and Chamber, the op still can get a ton of value. Let's look at the ways that Wardell creates value with the op, how he optimizes his use of the op, and the pressure that it ends up creating even when he doesn't have it anymore. Okay, so round 5, you can see Wardell's got 6k in the bank. He's off to a bit of a slow start, 1 and 3, but he's going to go to the Wardell special. He grabs the operator and pay special attention here. You can see Wardell satchels himself up onto this A main box just outside of truck, or just forward of truck. And he's going to hold this line with the operator. Now, he pops the classic Viper Orb and wall for short to create this pressure and this walk up, but Wardell's actually still able to see this peak, and you can see he just walks out and gets done by the operator. And we are focusing on the operator here, but we have this really nice little setup to complement the operator on A. Rossi playing in hookah with the judge, supported by the Viper utility, which decays the enemy and makes them vulnerable with the molly, which means they take double damage. So it just means that your judge shots go so much harder. And then you can see Wardell, he has a little bit of hesitation, double checks on his way out because the push does get stopped, but he does rotate over to be with the team here. You see they actually smoke him onto this angle, and then unfortunately misses that shot. And as you can see here, he uses the satchel to blast himself. He was thinking he was going to go for a satchel peek and thought better of it in the end. Okay, so jumping into round 6, you can see the Sky Flash comes out into Fountain, and they set up Wardell on B long here, holding this tight angle. He has the satchel to be able to get back across if needed, except you're going to see this KO wandering up, and he's going to wander all the way into B long. Let's shift our focus over to showers. We have a Brim Smoke come in here with the Haunt, and then this is going to set up some conditioning here for the Nation against Silk Road, and they're forced to use the KO. They bring the KO knife over to showers to clear out to make sure the op isn't here. So they know that Wardell's not here, and they continue to sort of contact in through that point. You can see this setup that Wardell was able to look over before. And then they sort of start poking around. They want to know where Wardell is so they don't run into him. They're also on the eco, so they're trying to look for a pick. You can see they start grouping towards the B site here. And we get the jump peak, and Wardell, I think if he's on his best day, he hits that shot for sure. That's another free pick. And he elects to go for the boom bot rather than satcheling away, which means he gets caught in this position here. But they do back off away from the operator. He scopes in to walk back over. Definitely could have been punished or had to go through the teleporter with that suppression. And Silk Road decide to go away to the heavy side of the map where the Nation has 3 players and force them into this A site. And this is all to do with the strength of the operator, showing that, you know, it doesn't have to be Jet or Chamber. You know, you can still get a lot of value out of the operator. There's some things that you can't do because you're not Jet or Chamber, but it's on the right maps, in the right lanes, that kind of stuff, playing it the right way. There's definitely a lot of value to be had. So feel free to pick up the operator in your ranked games and start applying these principles. You can see here, there's just so much pressure and value, and they get the round. All right, and coming into round 6 here, you see Wardell, the 3rd round in a row that he's got the operator, the 3rd different lane that he goes to. Now, on Bind, there's 3 great lanes for the operator. You got B long, you got A short, and you've got showers. Especially showers and B long are amazing op angles. You can also go for an opening pick out of hookah with a flash, or, you know, if you're really feeling it, dry peek, satchel peek with the Raze maybe. But this is kind of hard to hold. You know, you have the teleporter threat. You have anyone like walking up here while you're scoped in. So it is kind of awkward to hold, and you end up probably getting this opening pick, peeking it, and then falling back to B long. And the Nation, they don't smoke showers this round, so they leave it open for Wardell to pick through. And you can see that boombot comes out, and with that, it's now been triggered. So the 2 players here from Silk Road, they decide to swing. Stewie does a great job of shooting this out. He's just off to the right of screen in showers, shoots that out for Wardell, and the satchel being able to get away, using it kind of like the chamber TP or the jet dash. Great mechanics, and he's out. The horn gets shot out because he's got the support from Stewie, and a really nice play from them overall. And then Silk Road ends up pushing into short. They actually leave the smokes open, and they smoke off Heaven and CT to take away these op angles from Wardell. He does play this angle in shout to get the showers player coming through. And so he's fallen off right back here. You can see how close he's playing to CT. So he's able to duck into that smoke really quickly, even though he's suppressed. And the flash comes out. And then even though he's flashed, because he's got really good positioning and awareness, he gets himself into this smoke and gets out and rotates up to Heaven to reposition. Coming out of Brim smokes and Viper Cloud when you're flashed as well can be so disorientating. You see Wardell like walks into the wall. And this is the nice thing that you get with Raze as well. You get the nade and the ult and the grenade to sort of create space for yourself and for the team as you push into retake. You can see he takes that angle. Again, if he's a bit sharper, he might hit that. Somehow he misses this as well. You can see the value that this operator is providing here in this 7th round. So Khan Artist does a great job of stalling and clutching here. Great name as well. Brax is unable to get that defuse in time, and they lose the operator. If Wardell hits those 2 shots, they win that round as well. And it's definitely on the table. Wardell, if he's on his best, not even on his best day, on that 2nd shot, he definitely should have hit. But now we get into a super interesting round. We're into round 8 here. Wardell is able to purchase the op, as you can see right here, but Tig is low on money and needs a buy. So Wardell ends up going light armor and buys Tig, so they have 5 guns going into this round. Whether or not this is the right call, I think there's arguments for both, and as long as you're playing into the decision that you make. So if you really value that operator, you can get Tig on a Judge or even on a Bucky, but Tig would have had enough for a Judge and light armor, or full armor and a Bucky, and come play in hookah like they did with Rossi earlier in the game. You know, it showed to be a really strong setup. Maybe they don't want to go to that again. Maybe they're worried about overusing that, but to get the operator in Wardell's hands seems like a pretty good trade-off. But they don't go for that, and they actually play this really, really well. The way that Nation plays this round is so sick, the setup that they create. When I'm making these videos, I always assume intent and purposeful decision-making. I can only analyze the outcome. I don't have communications with any of these teams. Even if I did, I doubt they'd actually confirm or deny this, or they'd just answer, yes, it was absolutely us being Gigabrain, whether or not it was intentional, you know? So coming into round 8, Silk Road would know that Wardell has enough for an operator, so they have to assume that he's going to buy it because it is Wardell, and they have to respect it and flush it out and find it. So look at this setup from the Nation. They go back to this Brim smoke. Wardell gets caught by the knife. So Wardell maybe did or didn't know that he was going to get struck by it. But the fact that he does changes a lot about this round. So now Silk Road, they want to try and get the operator out of his hands. If they can deal with Wardell here in showers while this is smoked off, they're going to be giving themselves a huge advantage. You know, coming into a short range fight with the Raze and Fade util, that's going to be as favored of an operator fight as they're going to get. So they're going to try and get it. But the Brim Molly comes out to stall. And then Wardell shoots his Phantom, sprays through the smoke. Now this could still be Brim because Brim just shot the Molly. And then the nade comes out. So they're thinking there's 2 here. And look at the value that they're creating. They're still stuck outside of showers. The Haunt comes in now as well. So that's nade, Haunt, Seize, Prowler. All of this util to try and flush out this operator that doesn't exist. And then they give it up. They give it up. They walk away from it. Just the threat of this operator makes them so scared. The Nation pushes out short. So Silk Road, they're kind of stuck. They have to make some space here. They finally, at 47 seconds, decide to go into showers. The Prowler comes out, and look how scared they are again, because Wardell could be holding this operator line now. He could have just fallen back with it, and now they're stuck in showers. They're completely split. And this is a really nice smoke here from Tig as well. He hears the KO running along this line here, gets himself into this smoke, and pushes out the other side of it, catches a sick timing on Fletcher, hits a really nice shot. And then unfortunately, his barrel gets seen by Dim, and Dim pushes through here. But Tig has the awareness that the KO's here, unfortunately picks the wrong side of the smoke. And then Wardell finally gets this shot, kills Raze. Khan Artist pops the ult to push into sight and gets taken out before he can even use it. And then Wardell just stalls out here. Takes that fight eventually as the timer runs down. And they get a huge round. And they get so much value out of having an operator that doesn't exist. I'm going to jump forward a bit and then come back, and you can see Blackheart pulls out the operator on fade. Now, I'm really excited about this patch because we're going to see rounds like this. The unexpected operator can provide so much value. You see the value that Wardell gets on it. He gets literally a free pick on round 5 and then the value through the rest of those following rounds. Now, Blackheart on defense has the operator in showers. You can see they don't go to him first. But then he comes short. He actually peeks through the Viper setup, expecting the Viper to be creeping. Hits that unexpected shot with the op. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it. And then runs away, legs it out of sight. Almost gets clipped by Tig. But then what is Tig doing here? Just drive. I think he thought Blackheart had just decided to run away. And he just walks out, gets shot for free. And then Wardell, come on, mate. You're an operator. Like, you're an oppie yourself. You're walking out. Dry peeking, slow swinging heaven against the op that you now know exists. You get 3 kills to close out the round for Blackheart there for Silk Road. They survive a match point and they put the Nation onto an eco. Unfortunately, in this following round, the Nation actually have this really nice sight take. They creep all the way up. I think on the eco, Blackheart was too afraid to take this early op angle. And it actually ends up giving them too much space on their eco. They're able to dump. Blackheart's not able to get any value with the operator because he's too far back. You can see the position of the Nation pushed all the way up into sight. No real util apart from smokes has been used to get this plant down. And then they burst out of sight with their stingers. Nice flash followed by the haunt so that they can't destroy the haunt. Nade line up into this pocket where Fletcher is. Blackheart can't do anything because he's smoked off. Wardell just needs to hold the ult there as well, I think, to create a little bit more space. Hold that space, threaten anyone walking out of CT, just at least till you get the plant down. Khan Artist comes in through the TP with the flank, but they're now 4 players playing inside the Viper ultimate. It's just too hard to push through a Viper ult at this point. He gets it down to the last 2, and that's GG. Last round that I want to show here is round 11, and it's a very quick round. And I think having someone on Raze who's comfortable with the op is a really nice package because you're still able to take certain angles that you could previously take with Jet and Chamber using the satchel to get away. The nice thing about the satchel as well is that it's more flexible in the time that you can use it. You know, it's always up. It's just not every angle it's suitable for. But the bonus as well with Raze is that you get all of this stall potential as well. So along with the op to anchor the site, you get the nades, you get the boombot, you get satchels to delay a push as well. It's actually a really nice little package. So even though he doesn't have the operator in this round, you can see the nade comes out, which completely separates Khan Artist from the rest of Silk Road. The spam comes through, and then Wardell has a bit of a round. He goes, you know what? Get half flash, turn the flash, hit 3, get shot from behind. That doesn't trade me out though. And get the 4th running through. And so you can see this defensive stall that Raze has, especially on bind. You know, Raze has been a mainstay of bind for so long. It's a nice little package, and I'm excited to see potentially more opping Razes, potentially on Lotus. That's going to be something that happens as well. And, you know, there's definitely a perception that 99% of the time it had to be Chamber or Jet on the op, because there's strategies that you can exploit with Tailwind and Rendezvous. This game just goes to show that it definitely doesn't need to be that way. Raze still has some of that potential as well, but I'm excited to see like Viper ops and Killjoy ops in this new patch, and teams experimenting with ops on different agents. I think it's going to be really exciting for us as viewers to be able to see operators on different agents. In ranked, Jet and Chamber on the op, obviously they're more geared towards it, but you can pick up the op on any agent and get a lot of value out of it. And I think we're going to see more and more of that at the pro level too. Teams experimenting with operators on different agents like Raze, like Killjoy and Viper. Any agent is going to be able to pick up the op and create some value, especially using it as this unexpected pick. You know, I think one of my favorite rounds of all time was Boaster picking up the op in overtime at Champions on bind. And this was at Champions last year. Boaster 14-14 overtime versus Leviathan, picks up the operator on Astra of all characters and walks into showers solo, takes the duel. Almost actually dies here, but then gets 2 more as they push into side as well. And the unexpectedness of this operator gives Fnatic the round. Look how free they get to take sight. They get all the lamps control as well. Both are actually smoking short as well with that operator control. I'm not sure about that. Probably should have smoked Heaven and CT. And then he walks in and gets his 4th. And I think being able to pull out the op and at an unexpected time is going to get huge value. And in your ranked games is definitely going to be value. So definitely get on the operator, learn to use it, and pull it out once a game if you can.